Oh, yo, what is good? Quicker to family and my coin factory family. We're back once more with another daily Casper and crypto live stream. And as the title states, in my personal opinion, not financial advice of course, Casper will surpass all expectations this cycle. It sounds crazy to say that, but I do wholeheartedly believe that there is a lot of very huge catalyst incoming for crypto, and in particular for Casper as well. About 2 hours ago or so, I uploaded another video which will cover some of the stuff we're covering in this video as well, ultimately regarding KRI but also KDAO, which is a very, I would say a very optimistic and bullish project. I'm very happy about it, and we'll get into more of that in this stream today. But also we have some economic updates, why the markets are looking so green right now, and what we're going to look forward to in the near future. Someone in my community, I believe it was Casper, let me quickly check. It was Toggle. Toggle said earlier in the community, it's crazy how months ago everyone was scared that Casper would miss the bull run for the slow development such adoption, but now it's actually all perfect timing. And this is something that, if I'm being blunt, I feel like it's something that I had already had a feeling about for quite some time. I stated the whole time, everyone constantly said Casper develops too slow. You know, that's the bull market going to top in Q2 and Casper's going to miss it. And I said the whole time, you know, while we had no idea when the market would top, we had a market top evidently in Q1 in January, and now we're entering into March and we're currently sitting at 88k Bitcoin. But I always believed that Casper, while developments were slow, would still be released in time for it to catch this bull cycle. And right now it looks like that is coming to fruition due to the developments coming through and what's likely to come for the market. I think Casper is in a very prime position, and I think will still surpass expectations. So with that being said, if you enjoy these daily live streams, as you know, feel free to leave a like, share with your friends and subscribe for more. And if you want to be even more tuned in, maximize the benefits from crypto and have a community where you can just chill, chat and learn more as well, we've got a free Discord server. You can go check it out. We've got I think 600 members in there right now. Quite a nice sum of people there. Chill, chat and learn about crypto and Casper. And if you want to be even more locked in, then we got the WAP community here as well, which I'll talk about later on in the stream. But ultimately right now, market position in Casper has never been stronger, and crypto is in a very prime position right now, I believe, for a good time to DCA, not financial advice though, of course. Welcome back everyone to the stream once more. Hope you're all having a very good day. Lau, my man, welcome back once again. Johnny Tucker Outdoors, hello to you too. Nessie, my man, good evening, Governor, you know it. Welcome back to the stream. And Stu Clark, you too, evening, Jay and Casper Legends, you know it. Welcome back everyone to the stream. Why did I not get your notification? I do not know. I don't know. YouTube is sometimes a bit funny about that. I was wondering why, because I did go live. I didn't see anyone join straight away, so I was a bit surprised. I think there are some certain settings of YouTube that does, if you're frequently uploading, which of course now on the channel I'm uploading a lot more frequently, it's sometimes just not, if you upload too frequently, sometimes it does clash and stops notification for the channel, which is a bit frustrating. All I could tell you, I'm sure you have it on anyways, Kryptoni, but if you haven't, then I'm sure I'll tell everyone here to stay up to date, in tune, and know when I'm going live, when I'm posting. Make sure you follow, subscribe, but also hit that notification bell so you know every time that I post videos and or go live. But for reference and to actually make it easier, I'll make sure I'll lock in, and I'll make sure that every time I'm going live, I will make an announcement in my free community here, so you'll know every time when I'm planning to go live. If there's delays, I'll make sure to update everyone as well. But again, go check that out, free community right there. What's up, Falcon, my man? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're doing very well as well. Now, with that being said, looking at Casper right now on CoinMarketCap, thankfully, we've seen the volume start to rally up a little bit again. We saw it drop down to 20-30 million, which is disastrously low for Casper. And we can see now, while it's still, again, disastrously low, it has now reversed a bit. It's come back up a little bit. It's at 54.79 million 24-hour volume, which is much better. We look at the addresses right now, or the exchanges even, you can see 11.17% is coming from the likes of Bybit, and 15% through BitGet. So once more again, the two of the bigger exchanges that are trading Casper have got high volume. While the volume in itself is not that high, that in itself for those two exchanges is a very, very good indicator that, you know, tier ones are seemingly more bullish on Casper right now in trading at least, and that could be an indicator therefore for the likes of Binance and Coinbase to jump on board in due time. Mexi again still at 25%, dominating it. Gate quite high up as well. KuCoin there, Kraken still hovering around 1%. Ultimately right now the market for Casper again is still stagnating, which is not the best to see, but something that I've said in the AMA, KDAO AMA that I will play in a moment on, is we saw KRC-20 and also KDAO stagnate. And it's been quite frustrating, I'm sure, for those who are, you know, hoping and praying for good price action very soon, right? However, what is great about that is because the market in itself has cooled down. So while Casper and KRC-20 has cooled down as well, which is frustrating, the market in itself cooled down, which then meant it allowed more time for Casper and KRC-20 to start developing during the low periods, which is developers love building stuff in crypto when the markets are in bear cycles, when it's boring, bear traps. They love it then because they haven't got any, you know, subconscious pressure about trying to deliver in time. They can just build at their own heart's content. So that is one thing I'm very happy about, despite Casper's, you know, lackluster price action as we are currently used to. It's on the up, I'd like to believe. On the up, and I think and believe, while not financial again, that a big rally, a big return is on the horizon. So we've got a lot more to look forward to in that regard, which is very good to see. What's also kind of pointless to put those links in here when we can't copy or click them. You can't click the link in the chats. Okay, I did not know that. YouTube is just so great about that. Okay, well I know that now. Well, just for reference then, I mean, yeah, if you want to check out the free Discord community or equally the WAP or even the Twitter here, you can literally go find it on my YouTube homepage right here. Click the more links here in the About channel. You can find them all there. And equally, they're also in my description as well of the live stream. So if you want to find them, go check out the description of the live stream and you'll see all the information in there as well. But thank you very much for letting me know crypto, because that'll stop me from putting it in the chat then. What's up, Greg, my man? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're doing very, very well. The alarm on my bio clock got triggered. Well, I'm glad that notification came from you then, at least. Welcome back, Tony, my man. Hope you're doing very, very well. Isn't there a washing machine running there? Ah, so that is actually my fan. I'm going to turn off real quick. Basically, in the UK where we're at right now, UK is not very hot. I'm sure I'm not going to remotely try to complain about temperature when I know a lot of you who are in hotter regions of the world are much hotter areas. But one thing that those who have come to the UK or even live in the UK, go abroad, one thing that we can attest to is hot in the UK is like suffocating. Hot in other countries is hot, but you have, you know, air, breeze, so it's okay. Hot in the UK is stuffy, it's suffocating, it's horrible. And it's not that hot in the UK right now, but where my house is situated, when the sun starts to set, it comes blaring through my window, and therefore this whole room turns into like a sauna. So I have to put the fan on to try and cool myself down and open the window. But yeah, I've turned that off now. It shouldn't be a problem. It's now dark where we're at, 'cause it's still the sun still goes down quite early. Summertime, that's going to be very, very peak. But yeah, anyways, pleasantries aside right now, let's get into the crypto and Casper content. So we got the macro news I want to cover first before we get into the Casper content here first. This first post here from Cointelegraph highlights Arthur Hayes, and he's quite a well-known individual in this space. He's got quite a lot of accurate predictions, and I know Cody in particular does very much like his takes on crypto in the market right now. He's got a very good understanding. I agree with that much. Latest BitMEX co-founder Arthur Hayes predicts Bitcoin will hit $110,000, which therefore means a new all-time high because Bitcoin peaked at $109,000 before it retests to 76.5k. So, because the Bitcoin right now, the lowest it hit was down here at 76.5, or around this area here. So Arthur Hayes predicts we'll see Bitcoin more than likely surpass all-time highs before it comes back down here. Which, again, while it's not financial advice, any of this being said, having a perspective of that, it's interesting, and he gives his reasons as to why as well. Claiming the Fed switching from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing for treasuries and dismisses tariffs concerns, citing transitionary inflation. So why is Bitcoin going to reach higher highs before it reaches higher or lower lows in the immediate short term? Because the Fed is going from QT to QE for treasuries, and tariffs don't matter because transitory inflation and he said he'll expand at a later date, which we'll be sure to find and look out for in the future. But ultimately, I agree with this much, and that is something that equally Cody had spoke about in our community earlier as well, about the fact that we're seeing these sort of these rate cuts right now, or the quantitative tightening. But ultimately, right now, what we're seeing is the reason why the markets are green. There are two reasons why, in my belief, the markets are green this morning. And that's also playing into Arthur Hayes' position right here. One is because, well, actually, there's three. So there's three reasons. Three reasons why the markets are green today, at least in my belief, and also playing into Arthur Hayes' prediction. One is because, again, the Fed confirmed that they're reducing the tightening. They haven't gone from QE just yet, but they went from $25 billion, he reduced the monthly Treasury bond sales from $25 billion to $5 billion. So the quantitative tightening massively reduced. Therefore, meaning that's an extra, as Cody puts, $240 billion a year of extra cash flow floating around, which is, more money therefore in the economy, therefore more money that can flood into crypto as a result of that as well. Also, there was, which Greg highlighted and I think posted in the community, again, all information is in the free community Discord server, again, you got to check that out. He highlighted as well that there was a massive, I think it was like 4.7 billion or something, massive options that were, reaching their maturity and, the closeout, and they're now behind us as well. So the market makers have now temporarily stopped manipulating the price because we are now in a new option cycle. So the elements of manipulation of the market makers and, new money and smart money keeping the price low is now, effectively removed, or is lessening, because the new option cycle out now here, and quantitative tightening has been lessened, and soon we'll hopefully see quantitative easing as well. The other reason, though, why I believe the markets are also green today is due to, again, the war news, which we can see from BRICS news here. Russian delegation arrived in Saudi Arabia for negotiations with the United States to end the war on Ukraine. We know how bad war is for financial markets. It's terrible. So the fact that we are now seeing the quantitative tightening lessen, which is good, the options expire, therefore now the level of manipulation happening is lesser because they've come to their due by date, and also seemingly the end of this quite drawn out war between Ukraine and Russia. This is three very bullish indicators and potentially being the reasons why we're seeing the markets green today. Of course, again, don't be emotional, be logical, understand that markets are like a seesaw, they go up and down. We could very well see a massive capitulation tomorrow depending on potential catalysts and macro events, but right now Bitcoin is almost at 89k, almost back to 90k again, which is good. And if Arthur Hayes is correct, we'll see Bitcoin sooner return to all-time highs, so a 25% move from here, then we see it go back 30% down below this level here. Bitcoin could very well creep back down to this level of support here, or this one here, but down here, Arthur Hayes says no, more likely to go up here beforehand. And I would like to believe that is the case right now. Going into April, we've got a lot of very, very big developments coming through. To my knowledge, the stablecoin bill, Genius Act bill from the Senate will be released in April-ish, maybe May time. Actually, it should be April. So that will allow, regulatory clarity for stablecoin use case for financial institutions. So that would be a huge potential surge of volume. And actually, we highlighted it in my stream yesterday. We've seen a massive surge in stablecoin volume already. If I can find the post. So we're starting to see stablecoins surge more and more in volume. Once we get regulatory clarity for them in the United States, they'll see an extra level of adoption here. Extra level of adoption coming through as well. So this could fuel the next major market rally once sentiment turns bullish, and stablecoin bills in the United States could be that bullish catalyst as well. Now I've got a bit more macro news to cover before we get into the Casper news, which ultimately is talking about the tariff news once again, which everyone deems are very, very bearish. And while they aren't fantastic, of course, I think it's being slightly blown out of proportion, partly due to Jerome Powell himself. So we can see here, Trump to impose 25% tariffs on countries that buy oil, gas from Venezuela. Now, we've already got it 25% on Canada and Mexico, 20% on China, and I believe there's meant to be tariffs going on the European Union as well, if not implemented just yet in due time. So once more, Trump is using these tariffs, using the US influence to kind of bully other countries into submission, which is, of course, once more potentially igniting or causing flood of potential trade wars, right? And even Jerome Powell himself stated that Trump's tariffs will delay progress against inflation. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell stated that Trump's tariffs will worsen inflation and hinder economic stability for consumers, and the Fed Reserve goal is 2% inflation, right? However, this article here, shout out to Cody once more, by Phoenix Capital Research, published just earlier today, says the Fed's own data shows it is lying about inflation and tariffs. So by Graham Summers here, the MBA chief market strategist, the Fed should have cut rates last week apparently in the Fed meeting, but they did not. But that is a fact, they should have cut it last week. Instead, the Fed stated it is on hold for rate cuts because of potential tariffs the Trump administration introduced might trigger inflation. This is 100% nonsense. Europe, Japan, China and countless other nations have introduced tariffs, duties and other trade restrictions in the past with zero uptick in inflation. Moreover, there is no evidence that inflation expectations are on the rise. The 5-year forward inflation expectation is the gold standard for measuring inflation expectations, and there is no uptick right here, as we can see. No sign of that whatsoever. So evidently inflation is not causing the effect that Jerome Powell is claiming. So what is the Fed doing? In the words of the market chief strategist here, Graham Summers, they're just playing politics. They did this during Trump's first term in 2018 when they intentionally tightened monetary policies to the point of triggering a stock market crash. If you don't believe me, former Vice Chair Stanley Fischer admitted this in an interview. This is a major screw up, and it's only a matter of time before the Fed breaks something, and when this happens, the Fed will be forced to panic ease monetary conditions, triggering one of the greatest wealth building opportunities in years. The last time the Fed screwed up and was forced to change course was in 2023 when it blew up the regional banking system, what followed was almost 1,000 point rally in the S&P 500. So this ultimately is highlighting that the Fed is playing a very delicate game. They're trading on the sort of line right now, because again, Trump and the administration, they have no power over the Fed. They're kind of two extremely powerful but different entities that have different ideologies, if you will. Trump has demanded and asked and pleaded, not really pleaded I guess, but he stated, we want low interest rates. We need them. Jerome Powell is not in agreement. He does not want to lower interest rates for reasons that he has stated. But he is now right now refusing, and I'm probably sure it's partly due to, again, that whole element of playing politics, because Trump wants lower interest rates, and Jerome Powell does not want them right now. He's kind of ultimately holding on to it right now. But Jerome Powell is claiming that tariffs will cause delay in progress against inflation, but history is showing us, and data is showing us right now, that tariffs are causing no issue to inflation whatsoever. And we've seen that already. The inflation actually is going down, or barely moving, stagnating. So tariffs aren't causing that much of an issue. We've already got 20% on Canada, 20% on China, 20% on China, and 20% on Canada and Mexico, with more seemingly coming through as well. So should the Fed continue playing this sort of dance, if you will, as highlighted from, again, Graham Summers, MBA chief market strategist, someone who has basically been employed to, be a head researcher and know what they're talking about, as highlighting here, and also the former vice chair of Stanley Fischer admitted this in an interview. Ultimately, this major screw up will continue and the Fed will end up breaking something, therefore meaning we'll see a massive forced panic of quantitative easing, which could trigger one of the greatest wealth building opportunities in years, the great wealth transfer, effectively. And I've been saying it for a while, that I do believe this cycle has been labelled as the great wealth transfer, especially if you're in crypto. And there are two ways to look at that. Either it's like you have spent your money this cycle, or you've got to be in crypto this cycle. And for me, I view it as the latter. You can obviously make significant gains this cycle, but I think provided you're in the right opportunity, in the right communities, and you've done your research, which is what we do here every single day, then this could be the cycle where you build that knowledge up more so and set yourself in a very solid position for the future to become a part of the long-term great wealth transfer. Because crypto is being widely adopted right now by institutions, businesses alike, all over the world, which I'm also going to show proof of that in a moment. America and other countries are accepting Bitcoin and crypto, putting it into strategic reserves. So crypto, its adoption is very early on, only going to grow more from here. And the Fed right now is refusing to cut rates, but it's only a matter of time. For me, it's only a matter of time they'll cut rates, or they'll risk being forced to do a massive panic QE, which will then just cause a lot of money to be injected into the economy, which is what Trump wants as well. And we'll see on risk asset market stocks, crypto, it soar in value massively. And actually, speaking of tariffs once more, Trump apparently is no longer expected to impose sector-specific tariffs on April 2nd, which is, next week, according to the Wall Street Journal. And therefore, the S&P 500 is now up 75 points on the news. So, of course, once now, the markets are very reactionary to headline news. When they see these headlines, they react to the markets. Hearing that, and there'll be no tariffs, therefore, people are like, oh, yes, it's fantastic news, therefore S&P 500 has gone up higher. But again, I'm not discrediting that tariffs are bad, or I'm not saying that tariffs are good or bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that people right now are treating tariffs, I think, they're overreactionary to over-emotional tariffs. I think it's going to cause a complete spiral in the US economy, where evidently sources suggest that's not the case at all. But because the Fed's saying it, and people have, I guess, more belief in Jerome Powell than Donald Trump, which I guess I could understand. Because the Fed's saying it, every time they see any form of tariffs or anything that is happening, they end up just being emotional. The FUD, the fear grows. They think about trade wars coming through. And of course, any form of war, trade or physical, is very bad for markets. And we can definitely see a lot more downside in that regard coming through. But at the same time, remember, another big argument being made about inflation is it will cause inflation. And currently that's not happening right now. And here is actually a small example of the benefits of tariffs, if you will. South Korea's Hyundai, or Hyundai, wherever you're from, to announce a $20 billion investment, a US investment. And that is purely because they need to do that to get business in America now, thanks to the tariffs. Hyundai plans to invest $20 billion in the US, including a $5.8 billion steel plant in Louisiana, creating 5,500 jobs, as reported by CBS. Trump will announce Hyundai's investment and a new plant at the White House, promoting domestic manufacturing and steel production, confirmed by the White House. Ultimately, this is the benefits of tariffs once more. We've seen it already where manufacturers, whether it be from cars or other businesses, who are starting to. There was one I covered a while back who their headquarters, one of their bases are in Mexico, and they're now shifting to Indiana because, again, the tariffs are going to cause increasing on tax on exports. It's just not beneficial for them. It's more beneficial for them to be in the US to sell to the US as a bigger economy. So that's the benefits of tariffs in that regard. That's kind of the macro news for this stream. There's definitely a lot more we can get back, and we'll circle back once more again. So the big news, of course, is regarding that, according to Arthur Hayes, we'll see it end up coming up before coming down, seeing new all-time highs in Bitcoin, and therefore a great thing for the markets and therefore Casper as well. It's not going to happen necessarily overnight. It might take a month or two for us to hit 110k, but Arthur Hayes is highlighting he bets we'll see Bitcoin hit the all-time high before we see a new local bottom. That could take a month or two, but that's his prediction right now. And I am currently in agreement right now with all that's coming through in this space. The policies, the regulations, the fact that tariffs, while still coming, here and there, right now is not causing as much of a hindrance on the economy as people predicted. We saw a 30% pullback in Bitcoin, which is a historically accurate thing we see consistently. Bitcoin come down 30% before then seeing a reversal. We've seen it numerous times in the past. Like, go back to the last cycle here. 30% here. This is a double top here. We saw it here as well. That's 25%. You've seen it on numerous occasions where Bitcoin's come down 30% before making a rally. So seeing it come down 30% is not that concerning at all. Even here, it's 32%. That was in the kind of the lull period in the market. We saw Bitcoin peak at 74k following the Bitcoin ETS. And we saw nothing for 6 months, and then we saw the elections come through, and we saw Bitcoin make a higher high. So right now market sentiment is on the up, which is great. We can definitely see it coming down in the minute, in an immediate short term. Again, don't be emotional. Things can always change. The market's like a seesaw. That's why crypto and any investing is kind of like that. But this here is ultimately leaving us a very optimistic outlook for where we're going to go in the future. Potentially the war coming to an end. Potentially QE coming through very, very soon. And rate cuts coming through sooner than we expect, because the Fed can't keep up this kind of political game, if they will. And even tariffs starting to actually bring more investment to America. Bringing more jobs to America as well. And of course that's helping the market for today as well. About the the halting of certain tariffs. But with that being said, Casper again right now is one of the few assets right now that actually is fully stagnating right now, and that could be partly due to again manipulation, probably from MEXC, as we can see here. MEXC suspends Casper withdrawals again. Some users suspect MEXC is intentionally suspending withdrawals to prevent outflows when price is rising or volatile to avoid user arbitrage, accumulate more Casper alternately while creating artificial scarcity of the market, or control short-term price movement, especially if they hold large amounts of Casper or offer leverage trading. And this is all been speculation. There's no confirmation that MEXC is manipulating the price of Casper, but with how many sources that are out there and how many pieces of evidence that have been brought to us, while still speculative, it can make a very convincing argument. And the fact that Casper is currently right now one of the few assets not really moving today, despite Bitcoin being up, and Ethereum's up 4%, Sui's up 6%, C's up 5%, Tau 5%, like Mirror again. While the ecosystems aren't all the same, Casper is again not really moving, and you could argue again that's also playing into this downwards wedge part here. Again, if it does respect it, Casper is currently hovering in and around this downward sloping wedge. So if it continues in this fashion, and if it continues just to stagnate here, it might then just cause a kind of a natural breakout upwards towards 10 cents, 9 cents. And based on the incoming catalyst, we're going to see testnets for smart contracts coming out in the next couple of weeks. 10pps coming out in the next month or so. I would like to hazard a guess, not financial advice, that we'll see sooner than later. I would argue, again, not financial advice, I'd argue we are sooner going to see Casper reach 20 cents than we're going to see Casper reach this support here at 5 cents. Again, that is purely speculative, because again, I don't know how the market's going to react. I don't know if Trump decides to issue 100% tariffs on all nations tomorrow and cause a market crash. I have no idea what's going to happen in regards to the economic outlook of the world. But current economic sources suggest that the market currently is in an uptrend, or looking to go into an uptrend, with Bitcoin closing on 90k, which is very good to see. And we're currently seeing many developments coming out for Casper right now. So if it continues that fashion, or even just holds here, if Bitcoin can hold this level for the next couple of weeks, and Casper releases their big development, I can start to see Casper start to rally more so. Especially thanks to other developments as well, which I'm going to get into in the stream in a moment, regarding KDAO, KRI, and much, much more. What's up, Kas man? Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the stream, man. Is Sui a block DAG? I mean, I don't think so. Let me quickly double check. To my knowledge, I don't think it is. So Sui's architecture is not exactly a block DAG. No, so it's not a block DAG. Sui is a layer 1 blockchain that is designed for high throughput and low latency, similar to how so Sui is effectively similar to Casper in regards to that it's meant for high throughput, low latency, but it's a blockchain, not a block DAG. There aren't many, on the top of my head, I can't name any, but there aren't many, I'm going to say it as that, block DAGs in this space, because block DAG is, allowing the web of blocks all going off at one point and transacting at the same time, which Casper's the only one that I know of, especially the biggest one that actually can do that. Sui uses a consensus model, a consensus mechanism called Narwhal and Tusk, which does enable parallel transactions, but it's not a block DAG. So I can understand the potential confusion, because it does enable parallel transactions of certain types of transactions, but it's not a block DAG. Obviously, block DAG is Casper's one, and that's it also allows for very high transaction throughput as well. But the block DAGs don't create just a single block; they create a web of blocks. If that makes sense, man. Hopefully that helped answer your question. What's up, War Britannia, man? Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the stream. Oh yeah, and here, no, it's even if it was a proof of stake, so it isn't secure. I mean, yeah, again, the confusion was their Tusk and Narwhal, where it's parallel block, but it's not block DAG. And again, yes, Tony's right there. It's a proof of stake, so it's not secure like Casper's, proof of work, decentralized nature. 202,000 Kaspa and 1,200,000 Nacho. When I be a multi-millionaire, I mean, I would argue this year. While I have no confirmation as such, and it's just purely speculation, and of course I'm not a financial advisor, I'd argue you see it this year. If you look at Nacho right now, currently at 17, real market cap is starting to rally again because of the recent news, which I'll get into in a moment. Very bullish to see. Nacho started to see some good amount movement. Thanks to KDAO as well, bringing more adoption back, or soon will bring more adoption back to KRC-20 and Casper as well. I would like to believe that Nacho will rally quite high and do much better this cycle, which will help make some profit from your investments. And equally Casper, I don't know how high Casper will go this cycle, but I think Casper will surpass expectations, no doubt. Depending on their announcements, or considering Casper's developments and the market sentiment right now, I think Casper can surpass expectations. So multi-millionaire, who knows, man? I'm going to say in due time. Can we have an open CME gap for a weekend? From the weekend? Maybe it's just the way that I've read it, but I'm very confused by the question, I'll be honest. I'm guessing you're wanting me to check out the Bitcoin's weekends. Okay, I'm guessing I'm sorry, I'm just very, very trumped by the question. I guess maybe I am absolutely knackered. I've been working, I think, 12 hours straight now. I haven't had a chance to even have lunch today. If you can give a bit more clarification about what you said, my man, hopefully I can help answer and give you what it is that you desire. What's up? Enjoy your life. Let's go, Casper. You know it. Casper is looking very strong right now, as always, in my belief. What's up, Andy? My man, I'm doing very, very well. I got 16 Casper coins more. Big up, my man. Keep filling that bag. Where is he donated button? The content is king. I have not currently set up a donation for a Casper wallet address, but I might do very soon. We'll see. The Fed is politicized. The wealth transfer is largely inherited wealth, generational. I mean, yeah, the wealth, generally speaking, is generational wealth. But this is the thing, with the current sentiment of the cycle right now, this is one of the few opportunities we've been given where you can actually create wealth without having generational wealth. Provided you're in the right community to know what you're looking for and researching correctly, which is what we're trying to do here every single day. And I think what we do even more so in my community here, which again, if you want to find out a lot more, follow along with the strategies and my targets in the market through weekly live streams, institutional research documents. So we're looking at what institutions are looking at and projects they're looking at and their sentiment on crypto as well, which helps devise our trading strategies. Also trading as well, which I'm not going to probably disclose it like Tony wants me to, but I know Tony did put a message in the community earlier about trading, and ultimately right now things are looking very, very good for the community in regard to what we're teaching there. So if you want to know more about that, 7-day free trial, links in the description chat, also my homepage right here as well. Check it out right there. What's up, Mr. Miles, man? Hope you're doing very, very well. Reporting for duty. Yeah, you're late, very late. I had a meeting in Louisiana today. Trump and Hyundai is a done deal. Well, that is huge news once more. Again, this is the sort of benefits that the tariffs are giving to America, bringing more business there. TSM is also building in USA from Japan, and Apple is putting up 500 billion to build factories in USA. I mean, once more, while tariffs are causing a lot of short-term, FUD in the markets, this is ultimately proof of the matter of what these tariffs are meant to do for America. Institutions understand America is the biggest financial economy in the world. And it's, if they are now saying we want to go from an import to an export country, and they want all business to be in America, that's a big, big market you're missing out on. You can't just afford not to be in it. So you've got to start building there. So while causing a lot of short-term uncertainty, it has, at least for America, seemingly quite a lot of long-term benefits. And we're starting to see the fruits of that labour start to sprout right now, which is great, and that will therefore allow the bolstering of these economies to go up higher as well. Consistent tariff news is done on purpose to sensitize the markets to them, allow more tariffs to trade changes with less impact on the market. Yeah, I mean, actually, that is I didn't actually think about that way, and yeah, you're completely right. The fact that we're seeing tariff news consistently, because whenever people heard tariff news, like, think about it back when Trump first announced them in January, the market panicked. But now you're seeing tariff news effectively every single week. People now are like, oh yeah, more tariffs, woohoo. But the fact that you have tariffs, this is announced today. 1 hour ago, it was updated and published 11 hours ago. The markets are up today. So evidently the markets are becoming desensitized to the tariffs, which is very, very good. Yeah, tariffs priced in. I would say that is the case as well. Then we got that Taiwanese semiconductor chip company that plans to invest $100 billion in new manufacturing plants in the United States. Again, more business coming through. Tariffs, short term, they've been priced in, as Crypto said, they've been priced in. I like to believe that we'll see the relief rally come through soon with the QE and everything else coming through that the Fed will be forced to do, as highlighted here in this article. So I'll leave the links to all of this in my free community, the free Discord server, which again you can check out here on my YouTube homepage, also in the description, and equally I'll put it in the paid community there as well for a little bit more information as well. The real big news of today is Nacho going on gate. That is absolutely massive, no doubt about it. So I will be getting into that right now, as a matter of fact. So before I get into more of the comments and posts, there have been multiple big announcements. I did make a video just earlier today talking about Casper becoming a top 5 cryptocurrency with huge DAO and KRI partnership on the horizon. Ultimately, this is playing a spin-off what the KF stated about the reason they got into Casper, why they have vested interest in Casper, and they're trying to help push Casper forward, is because they think it's a top 5 crypto project. And I believe Casper is a top 5 project. Not this cycle, let's be realistic, because top 5 this cycle means you want Casper to surpass a 100, effectively it will be $100 billion market cap. And it'll be easily above that. If you look at, let's look at Solana, for example, at its peak. Market cap peak. Solana peaked at 125 billion. So then you got to ask yourself, can Casper surpass? It could be higher than this as well. Solana's getting ETFs and institutional adoption. So can Casper surpass $150 billion market cap this cycle? So that would put it at, $7, $8? While I'm not saying it's impossible, it's a big ask. Actually, it'd be $6. I mean, again, $150 billion market cap is a very, very high price. And while I think we're going to see a massive rally in all cryptos this cycle, like these higher highs for Solana's going to surpass this at some point later on. BNB equally surpass that later on. Can Casper become a top 5 this cycle? I think it's a bit of an ask. In the future, definitely. And even then, it will still do very well this cycle. I'm not by any means trying to downplay Casper. I think Casper could still potentially reach top 10 this cycle. The top 10 right now, I'm going to take it from Tron and look at their all-time high in terms of market cap. That's a 28 billion market cap. Of course, again, that'll go high. Let's just say 40 billion for argument's sake. Can Casper surpass 40 billion market cap this cycle? Which would put it in and around, $1.70-ish, give or take? About $1.80 maybe? I think there's a potential for it. Considering what they're developing and releasing right now and the stuff coming out, maybe it does reach top 10 this cycle. But I do believe Casper is a top 5 project in this space, and we'll see the fruits that labour come through very, very soon, thanks to developments. One factor that I've highlighted in my video here, which I absolutely love, and I'm going to highlight it again right now, is Block Zero highlighted here. He just got a full Casper node up and running, on an decade-old, late 2013 model iMac. That is extremely bullish, and many people don't seem to understand it or pay attention to this, and it's a very, very big deal, because it ultimately, think about it in the current economy and world we're in right now, whether you're playing video games or just kind of generally running nodes, whatever it may be, this day and age we need right now, you're effectively forced to constantly spend money to evolve your setup, your hardware, to have the latest GPU, graphics card, latest CPU, latest amount of RAM possible, like all this sort of stuff, just to get the average or bare minimum amount of performance. Yet with Casper's infrastructure, its architecture, its robustness, Casper can allow node operators to run nodes on decade-old hardware. which makes it even more inclusive for everybody, which is a very big deal. Which is why I said here the future isn't just going forward, it's fixing the past. Casper is making sure to make everyone inclusive. Now, of course, the newer the hardware will be more efficient, but if you haven't got the money for it and you've already got all set up, it's fine. You can still use it. That's the benefit. That's one of many benefits Casper is going to provide to this space. Also, the KF, effectively unintentionally announced here, thanks to their partnership with DWF Labs, we may end up seeing some AI projects coming Casper very, very soon. Those, like Tony, I know you know, and also joking, you know more than anybody else with the information provided here, the massive impact AI is about to have in this space this year. So if Casper can build AI, so you have AI building on the fastest infrastructure layer in this space, 10 bps Casper, that could be absolutely game-changing. If you want to know what the AI doc I'm talking about, again, you've got to go check this out. Links in the description, also on your homepage as well. But AI is going to be a huge factor. This could be a very, very big deal for Casper once more. If we get AI projects, first of many, I'm sure, coming on Casper. And then we have this interview, this AMA, this 2-hour AMA. I listened to a 2-hour AMA of KDAO, and it was very informative. I made quite a lot of notes. Ultimately, the understanding is that KDAO launched back in October 21st, 2024. And to this date, it is the most successful launch of a KRC-20 token. Had the most amount of mints, of 15 million tokens minted. The next best one was Nacho at 10 million. So KDAO is huge, very, very huge. And we'll get into this a little bit more in a moment, or equally, the video's there. I won't get into too much detail because the video is there for a reason, so you can watch the video, but this is a very, very big deal. The release of KDAO on the 21st caused the highest transaction volume to date for Casper as well, above 14.8 million, which allowed Casper therefore to be 2 times faster than the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Dogecoin all combined. So it's extremely bullish KDAO. I was very happy for it, and it caused proof that Casper had a very strong, bright future ahead of it in terms of adoption. With just KDAO alone, that's still pretty much just in the inner community. Think about what you're going to see when you actually have institutions and other ecosystems building on top of Casper through the EVMs and the Solana VMs and the WASMs as well. Other chains building on top of Casper, you'll see this is just a small snippet of volume you'll see for Casper in this cycle likely, and rally up much higher in the future to come as well. I know Solana, I think, transacts over 60 million a day or something like that, from what I've seen, or maybe that's its all-time high. I can't remember exactly where I saw that. But Casper can do that without 10 bps, without main adoption yet. It's still very, very early. It's 3 years old. It's a very early project right now, and it's got a lot more coming through. KDAO is huge. And not just that, we'll get into some of the recordings here in a moment. But KDAO spoke about the KRI here, about how the KRI and KDAO are both similar and have the same goals. Their goals, of course, being they both have the interest of expanding Casper's adoption globally. They have a very strong belief in Casper and what it's trying to provide to the space. That's what KDAO is there for. KDAO, for those who are unaware, we shout out to Casper Frog, who actually sent this to me months back. KDAO is a fully decentralized organization governed by its community. All decisions from project funding to operational matters rest in the hands of KDAO token holders. With no central authority or legal entity, Casper KDAO embodies the principles of decentralization, transparency, and community empowerment. And as the KRC-20 ecosystem continues to grow, Casper KDAO will serve as a catalyst, funding innovative projects and driving the next wave of growth in the Casper and KRC-20 spaces. Now, KRC-20 KDAO, it launched a bit early. They didn't have everything set up to shit. That's why, despite their promises and goal and whatnot, nothing really took off for Casper when it happened. But that's also the reason for this interview, this AMA here. Because now governance is back, and elections are just around the corner. They're now waiting to elect the management team. Once they have that up and running, KDAO will be like a cog, fully oiled up, starting to rotate properly, and we'll start seeing all their big developments coming with it as well. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a segment of this AMA here, which will be covering the KII talk in regards to KDAO as well and how they are close. I'll be covering the KRI part actually. the KRI part, and then I'll come full circle and talk a bit more about Casper and what they're building with smart contracts, and then talking about the projects coming to KDAO, like Cas Omni here. So listen very closely, or at least about to, when I load up this this interview at the right timestamp, which I believe is at the 1950 mark. Yep, right here. So let's listen very closely.
KYY was has joined the space, but they just left, or is it something? KYY, are you still there? But okay, never mind. KYY joined the space, so I would advise everyone here in the space to check out what KYY has done and keeps doing for Kaspa. This with their own resources and time. In my opinion, their efforts are undervalued. In addition, I think KYY and Kaspa DAO have the same goal: reshape the crypto space and attract industrial and global adoption. And this one on a proof of work, and I will quote KYY, totally decentralized, permissionless, censorship-resistant, global. This is why Kaspa is so special. Dixit Kaspa Industrial Initiative. But I think they left the space. I'm sure that they were there, but okay. It was interesting to have them in the space. Okay, thank you.
Using Casper as the main platform, so that, or the main network, so that what they're doing is absolutely incredible work. And like you said, STP, Casper's going to be way more than just
That's one segment of it. There is one more part here we talk about the KRI. I'm going to play real quickly as well. The 24-minute mark, which gives, like, again, I'm sure everyone here has already watched the video I made a day or two ago with KRI implementing smart contracts and EVM on Casper, which is huge. But this is also an insight from KDAO in regards to also the significance of what KRI is trying to bring as well, which again is very bullish. So once more, pay close attention to this segment of the interview as well.
And it's a win for everybody else in the world. If you're managing to get, say for example, what they want to do with energy, if they manage to get places where there's not the infrastructure to set up all of these massive energy grids, but there certainly is. There's you can run a fibre optic cable there to get internet there fairly easily, and then you've got a whole farm of solar panels that can, or wind farm, or whatever it is, to mine Casper. Well, now they've just made energy cheaper for a lot of people. They're literally conserving that energy in Casper whilst keeping the network secure, and that's just one of the many projects they want to do.
Right, let's put that up there because, again, I can paraphrase that for effectively. I thought that, the KRI, they have many projects they're trying to bring to Casper. We know that already. But with their gigawatt stablecoin, with the way they're trying to build these projects and whatnot with Casper, it can effectively make mining and energy cheaper with Casper. So once more, Casper is out there trying to solve real world problems, which is not just the speed, but also the cost. And with the KRI and also with KDAO, which was mentioned in this interview, which I'm not going to play out, just to have you a reason to go watch the video that I created here. They mentioned in the interview as well that Casper is going to, or is, as it is right now, expanding more than just a peer-to-peer electronic currency, more than just a medium of exchange. With the smart contracts coming out, which again, we're not far off now, Casper will become so much more. It will become more of a decentralized financial platform, DeFi platform, which is extremely big. And KDAO, the whole premise of KDAO is those who are coming to build on Casper's DeFi platform, the fastest infrastructure layer to come in the space. If they, for whatever reason, don't have the funding, they can come to approach KDAO, and because KDAO is a community-funded initiative, a project, the people who own KDAO tokens, they can vote as a collective with their voting system if the project that approached them and their goal and their mission is something they deem as worthy of investing into, and allow them to build on Casper's DeFi. So KRI is building for institutions to expand Casper's global adoption, and KDAO is building on the chain of Casper, building for retail. So developers, people who want to come and build on Casper, if they need funding, you can approach KDAO. and KDAO can effectively vote, but it's not KDAO as an entity, as much as they are treating it as a business, because you've got to do that in this space in general. They're treating it as a business, but it's not a bit. It's a community business. It's our business. KDAO is for us. If you own a KDAO token, you are part of that business. Decentralized system, Casper. This is what they're trying to do in this space. Something that has not been done before. This has not been done before. This is why there's still a lot of uncertainty around Casper, because no one truly understands the significance of what's trying to be built. And again, the KRI, just played some of the interviews with the KRI. You already know about the KRI and what they're trying to build, or you should know about it now. The big partnership they have, the Casper EVM KRI that they built, and currently running on 10 BPS on testnet 10, and all these projects here, which is again, the gigawatt I think is what I was referring to in the interview about, being able to, build a whole, when there's lack of infrastructure, the KRI can therefore make energy cheaper with, the fiber, whatever it may be. Your gigawatt, you've got ZTEX, Walk, Asset Mint, Olive Chain, all those ones. KRI for me is, and I've been saying it a lot more recently now because it only just came to me that I've not been saying it enough. I think everybody is heavily sleeping on the KII and the significance of what they bring to the space. And KDAO, understandably, KDAO, people sleeping on KDAO because KDAO, again, they launched too early and they went kind of quiet for 5, 6, 7 months. But now they're coming back. And they're coming back in a big way. In a very, very big way. So I look forward to seeing what's going to come through of that and the hopeful initiatives and projects they can fund and bring to the space. From utility projects like bridges, wallets, and decentralized exchanges to token projects, so like more meme coins or other creative tokens, or even ecosystem events and initiatives, so projects that enhance community engagement and drive awareness. They also mentioned in this AMA that they're going to probably focus on the time being for finding projects that can create revenue, so they can cycle back the money in the treasury back into the KDAO ecosystem again, but once it's more set up and fully fledged, they'll start focusing on other things as well. And they also mention at the 1 hour and 9 minute mark about Nacho, which I'll get into Nacho before I get into this absolutely massive KDAO project. Nacho, I did post about this earlier today, about how after many delistings and FUD within the Kaspa KRC-20 ecosystem recently, Nacho is proving all cats have 9 lives, continue to innovate, and now has secured the biggest KRC-20 listing to date, being with Gate.io launching in 2 days, March 26th, 2025 at 10 AM UTC Universal Time. That is huge, very, very big, and there's no doubt in my mind that when the market starts to recover, which again, market sentiment seems to be believing that it will recover in due time, or sooner rather than later. When the market recovers, when Casper starts to recover, which again I think it's only a matter of time, and Tier wants to list Casper as well, following that, with the big developments coming out, and then KRC-20 starts to recover as well, you'll see more listings come to Nacho, you'll see more listings come to other projects as well, like Kango, like Casper Ghost, like Casper Ghost, like Caspi, like probably Conan, other ones that PP Cast is quite hard there as well, that also could be a big one, Goad as well, like all these projects I think will have a very, very strong, they've currently survived the test of time throughout a very, very tough market correction for KRC-20 as well, a lot of bleeding, and they're still here, still relevant, still about. So they hopefully therefore will do a lot going forward as well, which is huge. So yeah, big up to Nacho for that. Huge listing, that's why Nacho's volume has spiked today, currently up 12%, go back to 20 mil markup hopefully. And equally, Zealous Swaps is also making a big announcement as well about how we're thrilled to unveil our brand new NFT staking system. We've partnered with Nacho to create a revolutionary staking system that gives real power to cat holders, power points by staking your cats, unlock a swap fee discount, vote on farming pools with your power, and compete with our extensive leaderboards. Ultimately, again, Zealous Swaps is building on top of Igra Labs, the layer 2 EVM they're building, the EVM they're building on top of Casper. They'll be able to go live once Igra Labs are able to launch their thing as well. So again, Nacho's got Nacho, which was confirmed in AMA actually. It went from being just a meme coin to more than that. It's now becoming a utility token, which is ultimately going to help build the longevity and stance of Nacho going forward as well. Because meme coins, if they have zero use case, when the inevitable crypto culling happens, the meme coins will collapse. Not all of them, because there are some meme coins out there like AI agent meme coins that have use case. If you have use case, you will survive. If you haven't got use case, you might get cannibalized. Unless you've got a community that's really, really hell-bent on keeping you alive. But with Nacho having utility, that will help very much in its longevity, and also may help it reach higher heights of the cycle as well. What I've mentioned in the past, theoretically speaking, if Casper can reach the price of, let's just say $2, so $50 billion market cap, then the ideology or the understanding that I have with the top meme coin underneath it, you know, how base is for Ethereum and how Shiba Inu is for Solana, I think that's the chain, right? Nacho is for Kaspa. And my understanding is the top meme should be able to attain 5 to 10% of the total market cap of the project in question. So if Kaspa reaches a $50 billion market cap, then by that ideology, Nacho should be able to reach a $2.5 to $5 billion market cap, which right now is only at 17 million. So that'd be a considerable multiplier from there. I'm not confirming it will happen. Still early doors, still a lot more to come, a lot more to unravel, but that's the understanding. Nacho, again, it's the whole simple element of KRC-20 here. The growth of this community depends on Casper. And I think Casper's going to grow very, very well this cycle based on its developments as well. Thanks to KRI, thanks to KDAO as well. And equally, thanks to KDAO, go get to KDAO here. So we've got this one here, Kas Omni. Kas Omni here, they are setting up a full package travel company that accepts Casper as payment. Chris Hutchinson here met with the founder and can vouch that he in fact knows the travel very, very well. And they needed voting, and in the span of less than 24 hours, they got the voting. So evidently the belief from KDAO on OmniCas is huge, and OmniCas is, you know, seemingly a level up for the travel, travel company, because most travel companies, they'll give you like information and flights and details on details and information on hotel and flights and maybe some cars, whereas OmniCas is aiming to be able to do all of that, as well as even stuff like even Bolts and Ubers and taxis and all that sort of smaller things as well that they're still going to try to do. You could ultimately, again, a company that let you pay Casper as payments. So that's going to be more so into the peer-to-peer element and the exchange element, but again, with more that's coming out, Casper will be so much more than that. Being part of a DeFi system, it'll be able to revolutionize DeFi in itself. You'll see more built into a Casper and more adoption as a result of there as well. So yeah, Casper price action short term is what it is. We talk about every single stream. I'm not worried about it because I can see it's a great time to keep DCAing and building up my portfolio in Casper, while I see such a, for me personally, again, not financial advice, do your own research to devise your own trading strategy. For me, what's being built for Casper, I see a very clear-cut road and a very, very bullish future for Casper this cycle. And it's all starting this cycle. It's all starting this cycle, and of course from that on it just becomes even more bullish. But it all starting this cycle. Casper is not missing the cycle, no doubt about it. What's coming out is looking very, very good, and the market again is looking up now. The Fed will soon issue QE rate cuts as well, and we'll see a lot more liquidity flow into the market, more money printing. Printers go burr, and Casper goes up with it as well. What's up, D-Demand? Hope you're doing very, very well. In America now, there is no more tax on income below 150k. If that could happen here, that would be amazing. I wish they just removed tax in general, to be honest, but maybe it's worth going to America now, who knows. Yeah, it's great exchange, very liquid. Yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome. Really hope you see it. I agree. Very much agree. Yeah, we need. Yeah, it's not in just yet, but they need a balance on the balance. Need balance on the balance sheet first, and everyone seems to want to fight us on it. Well, hopefully Trump can, push that agenda then. I don't understand why people don't talk about Caspi. I feel like God, and I find Casper. I feel like God to find Casper before all the bosses money comes. Well, that's because most people who are big in this space, they've already established themselves, and they're used to, when they're trying to find new projects, they're usually just getting shilled about them. So they're shilled about a project, they might do a base research into it and just talk about it. But a lot of people who are big in this space, they don't need to, say, find some small niche projects. Well, Casper's not really a small niche anymore, but it still is kind of small, it's quite unknown. So to cover the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, the XRPs, the big assets that are guaranteed to go up. And, will guarantee to get them views on YouTube. Because again, they're content creators. Casper in that regard is so much smaller. I think the biggest content creator in the community for Casper is CG. Then I'll say it probably is Crypto Chris, although he's not uploaded in a very long time. and they get a lot of views, but it also expanded beyond just Casper. Strictly Casper content creators, I believe it would be probably Casper Silver. But even then, like, the amount of views they get comparatively to other big channels is like night and day. Because Casper's not big enough yet. When Casper gets big enough, all the big people will talk about Casper. And then hopefully those who, you know, need more informative content, they'll be looking to people who've been talking about Casper from the early days. And they'll find this channel, and we'll have the community grow more and more and understand more about Casper as a result. There's Casper, then there's all the forks. There's no other block DAGs. Even the project called Block DAG seems to be using Casper code. Yeah, I mean, there's been no, you know, successful or even close to Casper copies so far. Nacho's going to get gated in 2 days. Yeah, Nacho's to $1. I mean, don't know about that buffling, but Nacho's definitely going to see a lot of volatility over the next few days for sure. And, you know, the fact we're getting it right now, you know, while it's been so quiet for so long, after they also just delisted from many exchanges, could be, and also while we've seen Change Finance have that whole discrepancy as well, this could be potentially an indicator for, you know, some turns in the KRC-20 community, following KDAO also now being active again. So hopefully see the economy start to recover a little bit more for Casper and KRC-20. Yeah, as Buffalo says, as always, if you enjoy this, we'll be doing the streams every single day. Leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more content. Everyone's better get some Casper KRC-20. It has the most holders. Yeah, I mean, in regards to the holders right now, Nacho's got the highest one, and then after that it is KDAO. KDAO's got a lot of holders because people understand the importance of having, you know, voting power. Again, if you hold KDAO, you are actually a part of that ecosystem. You can ultimately influence the decision on what you want. If you don't want, again, it's a community, you know, vote by majority, I'm assuming. So again, but it gives you power, which ultimately means that you can affect the project instead of you just kind of being a passive holder. You can actually make influence in the community. 1.2 billion Nacho. If that's referring to market cap, then again, it ultimately depends on Casper's price. Again, if Casper reaches, let's say for a conservative number, Casper reaches $1 this cycle, right? Which people seem to believe it will do. I'm not saying it will do. I'm not giving my belief on it. I'm saying community sentiment says $1 Casper right now, which again, you can view it how you want to. I'd argue it may be a bit bearish, but hey ho. $1 Casper, that would be a $25 billion market cap. According to what I know about memes, the biggest meme underneath the project, 5-10% of the total market cap of that project, 5% of $25 billion market cap, which would be a $1 Casper, would be a 2.5 bill for Nacho. And then, you know, it'd be 1.25 be 5%, and then 2.5 would be 10%. So if Casper only reaches $1, then, you know, argumentatively speaking or theoretically speaking, then Nacho would be between 1.25 bill to 2.5 bill. If it does, you know, respect that seemingly common factor regarding the project itself and the big meme underneath it. Do we have to buy Nacho now before open slot on March 26th because we don't know how to buy? You can do as you will, my man. Honestly, you buy whatever you want to buy. Nacho right now is available on Kaspa.com, Kasperbot, Pinex, Coinex, and Ascendex, and Gates coming out in the next few days. So you can get it early if you want to. But who knows? Maybe again, just for argumentative sake, maybe you see it be a pump and dump, and in the sense of, you know, by the rumor, Gate listing very, very big, and then you actually list, it'll come down a bit. Who knows? Memes are, I mean, while Nacho's getting more utility, memes are still inherently risky, and right now the economy is for the market is still not. Market structure is still not the best just yet. We're still waiting for more political frameworks and whatnot. You know, still more regulation to come through, and capital to start reversing as well. So, yeah, try to do discretion, my man. What's up, LB man? Hope you're doing very, very well. Yo to you too. I was just saying that we have an open CME gap from the weekend. CME gap is the price. There was a market close to open over the weekend. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Okay, well, yeah, you're completely right, Kryptona. Yeah, we've got I should say a CME gap is the price difference between market close and open over the weekend, and we already have a gap, which is good. Hopefully we can see that play out. Again, my brain's just going blank right now. I apologize. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, yeah, it is a what? Okay, someone messed me on. Mr. Mods, you messed me on Discord right now. I saw you mention something about Britain earlier. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, as crypto is basically just saying here, it basically just means that there's a potential for good future price movement for Bitcoin. Therefore, based on the fact that the CME gaps need to be filled. So again, that's playing into Arthur Hayes' ideology that we're going to see Bitcoin hit hard before it reaches local lows. This cycle also passed BNB. I mean, BNB. I mean, Solana's already passed BNB. BNB peaked at 100 bill. I would like to believe that you'll see Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, XRP, and Solana in the top 5 this cycle. Probably peaking at $150 billion market cap, maybe a little bit higher. Being the lowest of the top 5. And then, can Casper therefore surpass 150 billion this cycle? We can debate about it. I'm not going to give my 2 cents on it too much. I think it's a very big ask seeing a $6 Casper. While not impossible by any means, you need to see some significant adoption early on in the cycle for it to be able to rally that high. It's going to blast. It's just going to blast off. This is why BNB is dragging their arse, and Coinbase, they know. Casper is going to make Chainlink irrelevant, as there won't be a need to other chains, so what's the need for a bridge? Casper is going to be a solution for all, no doubt about it. If you have an extended cycle, I don't expect Casper to go much higher above $1. Casper deserves it. I mean, arguably, yes. I see where you're coming from, arguably, but at the same time, where does market top? We don't know. Market could top in Q3 or Q4. If it tops in December, then I think we've got more than enough time. We have to wait and see, though. Casper's looking weak as hell yet again. I would disagree. What? I mean, yes, it's down like 1%. Everything else is kind of going up, but it's just not moving right now. It's in the last week. It's done okay. It came down here. It's come up 50%, and now it's currently trading here. I wouldn't say it's weak at all. I'd say it's in a prime position, if anything. When you're typically in investing, the best way to make money is always very, very hard. Buy low, sell high is a very long and short of it. But what Casper's trying to create in the space will make BNB irrelevant, XRP irrelevant, Solana. It'll make everything irrelevant. What Casper's building is so innovative that it is going to shake up the space. Having a scalable, fast, cheap proof of work system that's truly decentralized is going to shake up the space. It's something that no other system has been able to properly attain. So Casper, while is weak, you can argue yes. It's currently taking those steroids. It's injecting itself right now. It's about to become a world champion. Doesn't need to follow retail. Really, it doesn't retail. It's going to follow when the developers port. Casper again will get the adoption following, market returning, following developers and institutions building on top of Casper, following smart contracts, following 10 BPS. Casper adoption will come back, and then some, and then a lot more. So it's going to see a price explosion like the likes of this world never seen before. I think it's also possible as well. Falling in line with the title of the video, yeah, exactly. Title of the video being Casper going to surpass expectations. I believe it will do, very much so. Is Kiddo migrating to smart contracts? It's a good question. Now, to my knowledge, while not very extensive in that matter, it's my knowledge that Project Sparkle, which is the smart contract infrastructure that's got the least amount of updates and announcements so far, and that could be building, Project Sparkle will allow the KRC-20 ecosystem to migrate to smart contracts. Nacho, Kango, and then also KDAO as well. So to answer your question, Bufflink, I believe the answer is yes. KDAO will migrate to smart contracts. You'll probably have Igor Labs and Casper and their EVMs, their KEVMs come out first. When Project Sparkle comes out, then it'll allow these to migrate to smart contracts. Still no moon. It won't happen anytime soon, in the sense that it won't happen in the next couple of weeks. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but it will happen this cycle, my belief, not financial advice. As always. Casper has no chance of doing good this cycle. I would disagree, but we can agree to disagree then. Mexi stands guard to serve a manipulation on every pump. I mean, Mexi's definitely, frustrating the community, no doubt about it. But at the same time, again, I don't think Mexi is I don't think Mexi can prevent what is coming. I don't think it can. You know, right now we're going into April, going into Q2, we're still in March, still in Q1. You've got another 9-8 months left of the year, potentially therefore less of the cycle, depending on what market top's going to be. Casper's big developments are coming out next month. We'll see testnets coming out in the next few weeks, 10 BPS coming out next month, full smart contract release for Eagle Labs and Casplex probably coming out sometime in mid Q2, with stablecoins coming out on the KEF and Casplex, on KRC-20 even. Similar like May time from what I've seen. You'll see more stablecoins come out. You'll see more developments come out. You'll see, you know, even KRI, the institutional use case of Kaspa, that already got an EVM that's been implemented and finished. That is finished and implemented on testnet 10. So once you get the shed a hard fork onto the mainnet, this will likely just be completely just a seamless migration over. So you'll see institutions be able to build on Kaspa ASAP. So by the beginning of May, you see KRI actually building these projects on top of Kaspa potentially. So yeah, I'm not worried about Kaspa doing bad at this. I think Kaspa will do very well this cycle against the past expectations. Every truth passes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed, then it faces strong opposition, then it's considered to have always been self-evident. I mean, I completely agree. Yeah, very, very wise words there. Kaspa is gone through ridicule. It's been ridiculed. It's faced strong opposition, and you know, those who have looked a lot more into it, we believe it's self-evident, and soon everyone will be saying the same thing as well. I'm going to see if any more questions real quick before we wrap up for the stream today. Where were the Bitcoin fixes this? I don't know. Yes, what you're asking in the community, I have no idea. I've not even looked through the post just yet. I looked at it, I saw Mr. Miles say something about England. I was like, okay, he's going to be just checking the myth again. I'm not going to look right now. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Yeah, pretty much. I did not DM you on Discord. No, you didn't. No, you put a message in the public chat and I just didn't see you. I see you won is a fake. Oh, okay. Casper's too beautiful to be real and not a scam. Casper's decentralized, you know, in that regard. Fully decentralized open source, it can't be a scam. Unless you know, actually, I don't think that unless it can't be a scam. It's just not. Good evening, Casper, man. Hope you're doing very, very well. I'm good, my man, and so is my family. Hope your family's doing very well as well, my man. I think no advantage of the KRC-20 meme to migrate to my contracts. They're just memes. They only need existence and not be expensive. I mean, yes, but at the same time, some of the memes, like Nacho, for example, they are becoming more utility rather than just straight up memes, giving actual use case. So if other memes can follow in suit, then it will help out more so. But memes is more so for the retail side of things. Retail love memes because it's a way to make quick money or lose quick money at the same time. But the benefit of memes is that it's bringing more quick volume to Casper. So it's good in that regard. We would no doubt about it. I was right, the EU is introducing a CBDC and will be stealing money out of the private savings and pay for their $800 billion war machine. This is why they will adopt Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I would like to get out of here ASAP. Hopefully Casper can let me do so. What's your favourite food? Like after live? What you plan to eat? Whatever is in my fridge. Although thinking about it now, I think I've got some falafels and some like turkey like type I don't know, like balls. I made some very, very interesting food for lunch, and I think that's what I put in there, which I didn't have to eat again. I didn't even eat lunch, so I made it for lunch. I was like, oh, I've got to go back to work. I just had to wait. I'm looking forward to eating it right now. How can you sleep to buy memes instead of utility coins? I mean, again, it's I don't own any of these KRC-20 meme coins right now. I do plan to still. But I have gone to memes for the sake of just trying to make some quick capital. And if I was to get into any meme right now for KRC-20, it'd be Nacho, and Kango, and Goad, and Caspi, and Casper, KDAO definitely, and Conan. Arguably Burr as well. There's ones that I knew from a while back that I believed in, and I still like to believe in them as well. Ones like Kiki can still do well. I mean, that's kind of still got over a 1 mil market cap, which is good to see. So, I mean, yeah, again, if memes is a inherently high risk, so again, it's risk to reward, trade your discretion, but I do see the value in memes. I don't love memes, but I see the value in them being able to make some quick money at least. When can we retire? Who knows? Who knows, Wing Hong? I'm hoping we'll see. It depends on your capital. You'll see some big moves this cycle, no doubt about it. I'm having honey, jalapeno sausage with garlic bread. Why? Okay, well, now I'm going to end very quickly now after saying that because I'm starving, and that's just made me drool at the mouth. Damn. Right. We'll move over here with all the other crazy liberals that essentially want to do the same thing. All move to Asia. And that'll trigger Mr. Mars, I'm sure. That being said, though, thank you all once more for watching today's daily Casper and crypto live stream. I'll put information once more in my free community. You want to go check the free community out? Links are down below. In the description, also my homepage here. And if you want to be even more locked in, learning a lot more from this space, from institutional research documents, and be able to actively make money through trading and research and education, the Warp community is right here. There's a lot more to learn in there. Definitely go check that out as well. In the description once more. I'll be retweeting all the stuff in there as well, so you can go follow me on Twitter. Ultimately, right now, there's a lot more coming to the space, a lot of good things coming up. Market looking green. This could come to fruition right now. Higher high before we see local lows, and Casper is building for the long term. A lot of big things coming out. KDAO, Nacho's doing big things, and KRI on the up definitely, and Casper is in a very unique position. But that being said, hope you all have a very, very good day, good evening, and good night. I'm starving. Screw you, Casper Frog, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.